Well, here we are.
Yes, here we are. How do we begin?
Let us begin the beginning.
Are we getting questions to start? Is that how it's
Is
working?
there somebody?
I'm not sure how it's working.
Well, we are, as introduced.
Actually, we're just going to sit here and stare at you, and you can stare at us.
We stare at you.
And nobody say a word. We'll just. I'm terrified of those bloody bad guys.
Does anyone have a question?
Yes, sir, in the second row.
I know Power Rangers was based off of the Super Sentai things, and a lot of the bad guys had you did voice acting things. Did you ever go to Japan to meet the actors who did the...
Good question. No, I'm not me. I would have loved to meet Machiko Soga.
They were too cheap to put us on that.
Are we starting already? No, we did not get the pleasure of meeting the people we voiced.
Of course, Lord Zed was not a was a complete American invention. Was a Saban invention. Was not a Super Sentai character. Finster was the other character I voiced.
But we never met Finster either.
I couldn't go and meet anybody because my character didn't exist in the series. They wrote it for me, so I would have been standing there looking at him going, dude. But I did have a funny thing with a Japanese actor. I was talking to him and I said, I'm very famous in America. And he said, why? I said, because I killed the Red Ranger. And he just stood there and looked at me and he went, we kill one a week.
Funny man. Never got the opportunity to hear him.
Another question? Well, we're all
Wow.
set. Well, I guess we...
All right. Well, thanks, guys.
Oh, look, there's a gentleman with his hand up, way up the back. Yeah, you. Not you. Him.
Well, no, he was...
This guy behind you.
The guy in the back first, and then the guy with the
they
cat
went-
hat
yeah, and then
second.
yeah.
He,
I couldn't hear that.
we couldn't hear you. Come up. Actually, yeah, I would really appreciate it if people with questions could stand and,
That's a good idea.
yeah.
This
Yeah,
way
of course, if
everybody-
we had
This way everybody else can hear
yeah.
the question, too.
The Zord Serpentera that Lord Zed had, the giant dragon.
Serpentera.
Yeah, my memory serves me correctly. It was originally a Power Ranger Zord that he found, captured, or corrupted and used.
No, it was
It
his
was
Zord.
always
It was
his?
always Lord Zed's Zord, yeah.
Okay, because I remember
He
the
just
story being
popped
funny.
up.
And,
Yeah.
oh, what was the other question I had? What made y'all want to get into Power Rangers as villains?
They paid us.
Money, 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 money. Money. Dun, 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 dun.
Well, we were actors, and we were looking for gigs. And this came along, and we said, okay, let's do this. And then none of us knew that this was going to be as big as it was. We thought it was just a one-time thing.
And my daughter would kill me if I didn't say, my little 8-year-old says hi to Lord Zed, Rita, and the rest of y'all.
Oh, thank you.
Oh,
To fill in on that answer, we were all working for Saban for years
Yeah.
before that. So when the Power Rangers came up, we were handed our roles.
right.
I was Finster, of course, at the time. And
Vernon's
Bob was
story
out.
is different, I think. I mean, I don't know how you wound up with that role, but you...
Yeah, you have a different story.
Everybody else said no, and I wasn't there at the time, so I couldn't. No, I'm kidding. They auditioned. I was amazed because I was actually working in Las Vegas, and they brought me down for the first audition, and there was like 40 people in a room, and every one of them I had seen on television in the lead in a series at one time or another, and I walked in and I went, what the fuck am I doing in here? I'm an actor on movies, not on television. And I had one advantage that they didn't have. Koichi, who was the director and executive producer of the whole thing at that stage, I'd just finished doing a movie with him. So it was kind of, let all them audition, we're going to use Vernon anyway.
Whoa. That's
Great.
how it works sometimes.
That's a
you know?
nice.
It's
clip.
not what you know, it's who you know.
Yeah.
By the way, I must apologize for my voice because at least 20 people have come up and gone, do the Rancic voice. Now I can't bloody
thank you.
talk.
See, the trick is to say, come to the panel. I don't usually do the voice.
Well,
that
it was a tall blonde. I was saying, come to my bedroom. It wasn't working.
When I was given the role of Rita, they They directed me to do the Wicked Witch of the West voice. So I followed direction.
I'll get you, my pretty, and it was make my monster grow.
And they came back with people saying, that's not scary enough, so they fired me.
Attached. Umbilical.
This is the truth. And I said, well, wait a minute, you directed me to do that. If you want it scarier, let me just give it to you scarier. And they said, no, we're going to have auditions. I said, well, may I audition? And they said, okay. So I was so pissed off! I came up with Rita! Not knowing it would last for 4 to 5 years or 25 years or whatever.
All right, let's hear from the Catman.
This is for Goldar. You were never, the character was never destroyed in the series?
No.
No. Would you be open to come back as, because they've never,
Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
just because it was never formally destroyed, bring back.
I watched it with my own eyes just a year ago. I got the box set sent to me after doing an interview. And I'd ask people through the years, what happened to me? They say, oh, you got evaporated in, sand and that thing. So I said, no, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Let's look at this. What the hell is the title of Destruction? Yeah, right on. And so I dug that out, and I looked at that, and I watched every frame, and I saw what was happening, and I said, oh, okay, I'm going to die here. And it's like, no, you're not. No, I can come back. Make it happen, you guys.
I guess that makes 2 of us because I didn't get destroyed either.
So there you go. Let's make that happen.
I become a dumbass good guy.
So
Me too. I became a good guy, but that can change. That can always change back.
As a matter of fact, Rita and Zed were transformed, and they
Yeah,
can
we
always
were
be transformed
transformed.
back.
Let's do it again. Let's turn them back to bad.
Much more fun.
make it happen.
Yeah,
I
they bring
can't do it.
Rangers back. They can bring villains back.
I call Saban, and you saw Goldar on me. I'm put on hold, and then he's out of town.
And Austin St. John would love another battle.
He's ready. I'm not sure I'm ready for him, but
And then this is for Axelrod. How did you like voicing Wizardmon and Digimon?
Oh, they were terrific. I love those 2 characters, especially Wizardmon. He was a real sweet character.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Hello. Originally my first question was actually about auditions or like stories about getting into that, but that was you kind of answered, so I had to think of something, but like otherwise. But do you guys as primarily doing voice roles as opposed to acting on camera? Do you guys have any good behind camera stories of recording during any kind of outtakes or just weird little incidents that happened?
Weird little incidents.
if I had one wish, it would be to have all of the outtakes for my whole career. I just would love to put a reel together with all of that.
Yeah, I don't think I'd want mine.
You could get sued.
Definitely. Actually, I have one funny story. My costume, which had effing shoulders out here, the toilets in our trailers were rather small. I would go to the toilet in my costume and get wedged in.
Even it.
So the props department would come and pull the toilet apart to get me out. After that happened about 6 times, they just took all the walls out of it. Looked like a little prison cell. You walk through the door and there was a toilet. It was like, that's Vernon's, yeah.
That company. Well, you could just imagine the things we used to joke with, make my monster grow, and things that people would say after that. And we did a little banter, but I don't remember exactly. You just have to use your imaginations. I don't know how many children are here, but, we played around with the voices and
We did some
dialogue.
very, very bad things on microphone.
Naughty, naughty.
Are we going to see you at the After Dark panel for more elaboration? Whatever.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Why do you guys think that Lord Zed kept sending in Goldar with the putties?
It's all yours, Robert.
What's the question?
Why'd you send in Goldar,
Goldar
to deal with the putties?
said Goldar to deal with the putties?
Yeah.
Because the putties were incompetent. Even my putties were terribly disciplined. They couldn't win a battle if they were working for scale.
Which they were, as were we.
So I sent Goldar in to help them out because Goldar was my right-hand man. And he was
Yeah.
at least competent for the most part.
You guys are aware that we actually, all 3 of us, were also putties. Whenever there was a putty session
Right.
after we finished recording, we just jump in and, we did a lot of putty.
Actually, I'd like to get a hold
Yeah,
of the
yeah.
tape. Did you ever hear the tape from some of the voiceover sessions that they had?
A couple of Scott's tapes.
Yes.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind having them.
And why do you think that each time that there was a monster that Lord Zed would make them bigger after they were defeated?
Oh, why to make them bigger? So they could destroy the Power Rangers all the more effectively. But the Power Rangers had their big Zord, so it was a fair fight. And the Power Rangers always won.
But don't they know that 2 against
I
1
didn't
is
know
kind
that.
of weak?
See, you're being logical.
I'm gonna put.
You're making sense. The
You must
show,
have been one of
We're
the writers.
gonna put a call into the writers right now.
you should be one of the writers of this show, and when we bring it back, you can fix it and make it make more sense and get the bad guys to win at least once or twice, maybe. Don't you think that's fair? No, you don't want us to win? Ever?
We had some victories.
You guys would
We had
probably
some
lose,
victories.
period.
Oh! I missed it. You guys would probably lose, period.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, next. Yeah. Moving right along.
Okay, I guess my question is
Wow.
for everyone. Who was your favorite Power Ranger to burst off against?
To do what?
Like to fight against?
Oh,
Who was your favorite Ranger to come head to head with?
Well, JDF.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
the White Ranger.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I actually
mine was
had
the
a
Pink Ranger.
I actually had a battle with the White Ranger.
You did what?
Oh yeah, I actually had a direct battle with the White Ranger. Zed, the only time Zed came down to Earth, or were they on Earth or on the Moon? They might have been on the Moon, but I have it on tape, on DVD.
Yeah?
Yeah, I show it in my Best of Robert Axelrod series.
You fought the Green Ranger?
I fought, yeah, the White Ranger. He
Oh,
was
the White Ranger.
Yeah.
And I tried to make the Green Ranger bad, and I almost pulled it off for a little while, didn't I? I almost did it.
Excuse me, do you have a microphone?
All right, next.
I still like the Pink Ranger. I don't give a shit. I thought she was really cool to fight with.
Dirty old man.
Even if it
Let's just
wasn't
call
written
it
in
as
the
straight
script,
as
we
we-
fought. I'm sorry. What?
No, nothing.
Oh. We've got out of the bedroom again. Damn it.
This question is for all of you, but it's kind of like 2 and 2. So for Reed and Goldar, did you watch Zoo Ranger just to get a feel on how the characters acted before you voiced their characters?
I never saw a frame of anything except what I was recording. And
No, I just saw Machiko Soga's face and tried to fit the new non-fired voice into the mouth flaps without trying to make it fit, which was impossible because it was the same footage over and over and over again with different storylines. So it was terrible dubbing, but there was no choice to do. That was the fun for you. I like it when it works, but no, it worked in that way, yeah.
Tony Oliver actually assigned us, Robert and Barbara and me, we were assigned these roles. And initially, Goldar didn't have much of a part, if you all remember, in about the first 16 episodes. You know, so I wasn't really focusing on this part sustaining because I was told it's not going to be much of a part. And so then all of a sudden, Tony called and said, hey, you better get that voice straightened out because Goldar has come on like a ton of bricks, and that was the five-part. Evil is the green is evil, or green, yeah. And I was like, wow, how am I going to do this? So I went down, I had a little basement in a house I was living in Burbank, and I played drums down there, and I went down in the basement and spent about an hour finding this voice so that I could do it without hurting my voice, which, you know, I found it in about an hour. I realized I was, you know, I roll a lot of air over the vocal cords. It sounds, and it actually became bigger. I mean, the voice was way bigger. You know, those first 16 episodes, it was really pinched because I just wasn't putting that much effort into it because I didn't think it was going to be much of a role, and it certainly turned out to be quite a role. And I could record for about 45 minutes without any discomfort, and at that point I called it, you know, and they all knew that. 45 was my limit. And I think, like Barbara and probably Robert, I like my headphones really, really what we call hot or very, very loud, so I know exactly where my placement is, just like a rock and roller has their monitors so they can hear their voices. You got to hear that placement so that you don't scratch your voice. And once it's scratched, it can take a day to recover from literally one misplacement with these kinds of voices. So when you guys ask us to do them out there on the floor, like Vern's got no voice here, I mean, we don't have monitors. I mean, when I do it, I cup my ear like that so it's coming back in my head so that I get the right place to do it. So just some inside crap.
Very good crap, very good crap.
Next question is for Wells and Axelrod. How did you prepare for your roles as the villains in Power Rangers?
I think I had the easiest of any of them because they made my character human. So basically, all I had to do was find a place to put him, and I guess if you've seen the series, we made him kind of whimsical in his own way. Everything I did was done with half a smile, even when I was beating the crap out of a Power Ranger. I mean, it was just fun because what we came to was that he knew how powerful he was, and he wasn't afraid of the Power Rangers. It was a game. And I think that's what made him a lot of fun. And also, I had a pretty sexy daughter who was always doing dumb shit, which kind of made, because it became like I think more of a personalized villain than a lot of these villains were. So I had it a lot easier than they did, which I think was really nice for me to be able to do it that way. I would never have liked to have done a voice. I have enough trouble with my own.
As far as I'm concerned, Finster, I just did my version of a voice actor named Ted Lehman, who used to be with us. And I just said, I'll do Ted Lehman. Ted had retired to Tennessee to be a judge again. He was a judge in Tennessee. So he came out to Hollywood years ago to be a voiceover actor, and he did very well. And then he retired back to Tennessee to, I think, live with his mother. So I just did my version of him, and that nailed it. For Lord Zed, I had to audition 3 times and finally got the part. It was a whole long story based on that. I won't tell because my voice is shot. But I prepared by taking the stuff home and working on it with a tape recorder for a long time until I got the voice the way I wanted it. And then I went in and nailed it.
Yeah, at first they didn't believe that it was him because they're used to him doing very thin voices, and he had this booming voice, and they just couldn't understand how an actor could be versatile.
Yes.
Imagine, you know, like, that's the way they would think.
That's it. That's it.
For me, it's more of a comment and then a question. As far as Goldar goes, I think there should have been a time where you became the superior villain. I really do.
Well.
Thank you.
Well,
but I will admit, my favorite comment in the show is when Lord Zed called you a worthless weenie. I'm sorry. I thought it was funny. But my question is, whenever Lord Zed and Rita got married, were they more destructive in your all's opinion, or more weak?
No, they were more comical, which for me, I enjoyed because it was more like a Lucy-Ricky relationship, you know? I mean, that's where the joy for me is the ad-libbing where she can turn her back and she can go, "Shut up, radiator face!" And, you know, we would throw things in that were ours that they kept. You know, or I have such a headache. I don't remember how that showed up, but
I think you hit it one day.
I may have
you just did it.
I may have said it one day, and then that became a catchphrase. So we played off each other, but you're right. Boy, did we screw up as a team. Well, I wasn't doing too well on my own, and neither was he. So.
All right.
First of all, I just want to say that I am a lot different than a lot of people here. I wasn't allowed to watch the show as a kid because I came from a family of 4 boys, and my parents thought that we would fight a lot from watching the show.
Right.
So I binge watched the show when I was a teenager and got to watch everything over like a summer or 2. So thank you for having great teenage years. And also, I just want to say that, Vernon, my first experience with you on film was in The Road Warrior, which was an awesome film, by the way, my favorite. My question is, what is the craziest or weirdest place you've been recognized for your work on Power Rangers in public?
Oh, God.
McDonald's. McDonald's. Somebody stopped me at McDonald's and said, "Lord Zed, aren't you Lord Zed?"
Yeah.
At a Yankee game, I was going in, and the guy took pictures because he knew who I was, of me and my husband. And I thought, gee, you know, I could have been carrying a gun with me. He was security, and he let me right through, you know. That was for me.
Mine was a little bit like Robert. I was in a toilet.
What is this with you and toilets? Never mind. Never mind.
I was in a toilet, and the guy standing beside me looked across and suddenly recognized me. and went, this is serious. And he went, oh my God, it's Rancic. And he put his hand out to shake me.
He didn't even wash his hands.
At that moment, I had two choices. I was more into women. It was a little scary. Because of some of the other films, I tend to get recognized in weird places by weird people. I was chased down the 3rd Street Promenade in Los Angeles in Santa Monica by a guy in a wheelchair.
Oh, Jesus.
On your way to a toilet?
I think if I had found one, I would have gone to it. It was just, yeah. I prefer the anonymity of being nobody. It's so much more fun.
I've never been recognized as... Never? No. I'm okay with it. I like it. But I played the shit out of it in the heyday. I mean, I carried pictures. I got out of moving violations. I got upgraded to, and I had no shame. I mean, a cop pulled me over
Like
in
now.
the motorcycle in the Hollywood Hills, like now, right? And I was with Richard, actually, Horvitz. And he said, I'm reaching into the back to grab an 8x to grab looking to make sure that I have my pictures, which I always carried in these kinds of situations. And Richard says, what are you doing? I said, just watch and learn. Yeah. And so in these days, back then, in 93 it started, so this was probably 95, I would guess, and we're in Beechwood Canyon, and I got nailed for speeding, and we were, I don't know where we were going, doesn't matter. And so this motorcycle cop, I mean, he's right, he's stereotypical, teardrop, mirror sunglasses, boots, the whole garb. I mean, he's really full of himself. And in those days, you could get out of the car. It was okay. It was actually accepted, meaning it's okay that you approached the officer. And he's got his book out, and he's going, he won't even look at me. Driver's license and registration. And I handed it right to him, and he opens up the book, and he starts. I go, whoa, hold on. And he glances up. I said, I'm Goldar. No Power Rangers, no nothing, just I'm Goldar. And he looks at me like, and we're in the Hollywood Hills. It's residential. It's like I'm pulled. And he looks at me, he goes, through the glasses, do it. I said, it's loud. And he said, do it. So I did your line where I said, yes, Empress. And he's like, closes the book. I said, how many kids you got? He goes, five. I said, all right, well, let's get signing. And he walks over to the car. True story. 5 kids, and I saw as he's waiting, and now he's getting cold feet. And I'm trying to write each, personalize it like I do here. Timmy, Daddy takes a bribe, Kerrigan Mahan. Daddy's a bad cop, Johnny. And I saw him getting cold feet. I mean, I see he's thinking about, reversing his choice here. And Richard's looking over like basically kind of going, you better move it. This he's waffling. And I'm down to the, like the last one. And I'm, whatever his name was, just Kerrigan Mahan. There you go. And he literally took the 5 pictures, didn't even thank me. Just took them. It's okay. He was like, okay, that's it. Walked right to his motorcycle, opened up his saddlebag, put him in, started his bike, and off he went. Fantastic. And Horvitz said, I don't believe what just went on here. And to this day, Richard carries his effing pictures with him everywhere.
Well, I hate you for that, by the way.
I'm sorry.
I got pulled up for speeding, and I don't carry pictures with me. I just happen to have some in the back of the car, and they'd fallen across the seat. The cop comes up, does his thing, looks in the car, and says, oh, you're the guy from Road Warrior. And I went, yeah. He said, think I could get an autographed picture? And I went, yes.
And he wrote you.
I said, of course. He said, great, sign here, please.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I knew that was coming. I'll run you through the...
I hate you.
Oh.
And I just have one more question. While you were on the show, when you left, was there anything that you kept while you were on the show of your character, whether it was a prop or a piece of your
microphone.
outfit?
I took the mic.
Microphone?
Yeah.
Okay.
Pain
No,
and
there was
agony.
nothing to...
There was really nothing because it wasn't like we had costumes. I mean, I had to buy my jacket. You know, usually
Yeah.
companies give you a jacket.
Not
you
so
were lucky.
long, no.
I actually got to keep the sword and the mask and the
Oh, that's nice.
hair, the whole thing. They gave it to me at the end. I think they were glad to get rid of me. Give him something, God damn it.
Well, that's nice. They are. They were a very generous company, so
Oh,
that's
please,
super.
that's not even.
That's the
not-
after dark part, I guess, right?
Very generous.
I have a comment and a question. My comment is, if it weren't for the Power Rangers, you guys like are awesome. I mean, I was made fun of for watching it, but like I knew that I didn't care what they said because it's you guys are awesome. You guys portray the characters like perfectly. You know, I mean, like I couldn't imagine anybody else being Rita or Lord Zed or Godo or Rancic. My question is, out of all the monsters, including Goldar, were used, which one's your favorite to blow up, like enlarge?
Which is the favorite monster to blow up?
Like Piranha's
To
head,
make grow?
Pterotoad. Like, which one was your favorite to like for Rita? But which one did you like to enlarge? For Zed, which one did you like to enlarge?
Oh, okay.
blow up
Well, I like to enlarge gold.
Okay. Well, you let the cat out of the box on that one, didn't you? That's kind of getting back to that later panel, isn't it?
Oh, yes.
Jesus.
What was that other one? It was like some ridiculous one that was like a puff pastry or a purse. Was there a purse once?
Clearly, the writers were very, very stuck that
so
day.
ridiculous. I didn't like that, but I couldn't believe they came up with that.
That was actually part of my question was the coin purse. I know the coin purse actually defeated the Power Rangers, and then the Clock King teleported it to a different dimension. Did they ever have any plans for bringing it back or getting revenge on the Clock King for stopping them from defeating the Rangers? Or
No,
they just didn't know how to end it?
They don't think about continuity. They just move on to the next. Let's do it now. Let's
just didn't know how to do it. All right.
Ah, yes, I didn't think a lot about science either. I killed the Red Ranger and they brought him in from the future. Just think about that. He's dead, you dumbasses. How can he come from the future?
I know you did the voice for Finster. I was just curious. Did you view Finster as evil, or was he just the guy who was good at his craft, and he was just a craftsman who didn't ponder whether his monsters were being used for good or evil or such?
Pretty much. He was into being a scientist, into creating all these monsters, these putty monsters, and I said, "Oh, I have all these monsters for you, my queen." So he was a joyful scientist.
Yeah. He had no ethics at all. You know, he was not very.
He's just
little bit
working
like
for the-
Saban.
He's just working for the bad guys. That's all.
At the peak of everything, at the end of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, I mean, you guys were, the triad of terror, and I loved all three of you guys.
Oh, thank
Lord
you.
Zed, Rita Repulsa, Goldar, and it was just, you guys just made the show.
Thank you.
When Zeo came out, the lowest point for me was when you guys were driven from the moon, and I was so mad. And the greatest point of Zeo is when you guys came back and you blew up the Machine Empire, and I was so happy. And I was so disappointed because in Turbo, when they started, you guys were nowhere to be found. Well, Diva Talks called you, and she said, and to ask your advice, and then you put the microphone, the phone to Lord Zed, and he's snoring and everything. He said, "See, I have to live with this."
Yeah.
And we never saw you again until like the first 2 episodes of In Space. I was wondering, were you guys ever disappointed that because you guys knew you were blowing up the Machine Empire, and then all of a sudden, were you guys like, "Oh yeah, we're coming back, baby. We took back the moon, and it's time to roar again," you know?
Yes, that was a job that we liked. We knew our roles. We were good at it, and we loved doing the show, and we wanted to continue. And so when they changed the storyline and made her Mystic Mother and whatever, you know, they went off in the sunset, we knew, we're out of work. In fact, I sent them a postcard saying, "Unemployed Empress seeks employment."
I was just hoping you
Out of
guys
work,
would come
Empress.
back and do Turbo and be the bad guys again, and they didn't. And I was just kind of wondering if you guys were disappointed too that you didn't.
Yes.
Hugely. Of course, we're out of a job.
Well,
Yeah.
No, seriously.
We had
I know,
Digimon.
yeah.
Some of us had Digimon.
Yeah,
too, but that
well,
wasn't
excuse me, we had other things, but
Well-
Power Rangers was a big part of our
yes,
our rent.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys so much for coming. It's been great meeting you. Thanks again.
Thank you.
Forget Bulk and Skull, Rito, and Goldar.
Nice. Right on.
You realize what's so scary in here? None of you are 13 years old.
That's all right. Who else has a question? All right.
Do we care?
Yes, we can. All right.
Okay.
In Operation Overdrive, when Lord Zed and Rita Repulsa's son showed up, how did you guys feel they represented that?
Good answer.
That's my answer.
I mean, we had no clue, but because we hadn't seen what you know now, but you didn't know then either. I mean, you were about 5 or 10. You were young. Everybody was younger, right? So it would have been nice to have some, as I said, continuity, even on a show that's for kids, to make it all kind of fit together and make some sense out of it. So it's frustrating. It's frustrating as an actor that wants to do the best job that they can do, not to be able to get that chance. So, you know, I still want to know why we can't make that make sense now. You're welcome.
I'm gonna let the cat out of the box a little here.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I have on very, very good authority, and I mean this is real. Somebody has read the script for the movie. I'm getting it. Apparently, Goldar is the absolute main bad guy with a huge part. Hold on. Now it's getting down to the $64 question. Is it big budget? And if it is big budget, $80, $90 million movie, I believe probably Russell Crowe or somebody of the likes will be playing Goldar. It's up to you. It's up to you. Now, the fact that, and please don't post this, what I'm saying. I'm asking you not to put it on anything, because this is absolutely under the radar. If it isn't, I have to believe, by the way, Rita's in it, Lord Zed is in it. So, why in the world, if it's not 100 million and it's 15, 20 million, would we not be brought back? It would make no sense. So it's looking more and more interesting either way it goes. And if they make an $80 million movie and Russell Crowe plays Goldar, I don't know who their audience is. Or maybe I'll get a job telling him how to do the voice. I don't know.
Okay.
It's gonna be weird because, again, I don't know who their audience is, and I can't wait to get my hands on this thing, assuming I'm gonna get it, just to see what caliber, how good it is or not. But apparently, this is a first draft, and it is from a major agency writer, so
Wow.
it's happening. I don't know how, anything, but that's between us.
And the cameras.
I mean it, guys. Don't post anything here on this, please.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, I got that fat chance on that. Okay. All right. Don't do it.
Goldar,
That's
Goldar,
scary.
why we don't win. Don't say anything.
Well, no, it's important because it's going down. So you guys are in charge. We don't have any say. So you're the audience. Make it happen the way it's supposed to.
You write the letters.
You
make
did
the-
it before,
send the
actually.
emails,
You know that we
send the
we-
texts.
we- I don't know if you know, but in the first movie, we all turned it down because they were just insulting us with that giant movie and not paying us.
Right.
And then they got letters from fans saying, that's not Rita's voice, that's not the voices. Those aren't the voices. They had to come back and work with and negotiate with us, which unfortunately they should have done to begin with, but because of you, we were respected.
Yeah, and you really hold the power now. I watched a little film. We have, where I live in San Luis Obispo, we have a little, well, no, it's not a little, it's San Luis Obispo International Film Festival. And I saw this independent film that my friends made, and another friend was in just the other night. And they got up and said, with the power of social media, you guys can make this film happen. And that's the way it is now. I mean, the numbers can happen very, very quickly. So if you really want this to happen, make it happen. Well,
And don't mention
you
it.
can't. I'm just saying that, you can use that as a little bit of leverage, but it's going down. So again, I mean, I think they're going to hire us if it's a smaller picture. I mean, again, it makes no sense that they wouldn't. And if not, I don't know. Well, you got to wait until you see, when it's announced. When it's announced that this is the way the film's going, that's when you go to town. Right. Right, but the problem with that is with a big
Meryl
film.
Streep wants to do it. I guess they'll let her.
Let me tell you how quickly Russell Crowe's going to buy into that. Go ahead.
If they don't get you guys to come back from the movie, they're looking at another Last Airbender movie.
Yeah.
You got it.
Yeah, I like
And,
that. Yeah.
Yeah, well, if it ain't broke, break it.
And make sure you pencil Vernon apart on this picture, okay?
Don't
All right,
need
guys.
100 million to afford me. Just kidding.
Let's give it up for our guest, guys. Let's give it up. Come on.
We love you, man!
Thank you, guys. Come by and see